Welcome to tutorial 3 of chapter 1. We're going to see about string manipulation. My voice might be a little bit higher this time. I noticed my microphone gain was a little bit low. I'm still experimenting with the new microphone. I only see after the fact, after watching the videos. Also, some things I want to say there. Like you might be wondering what's the difference between float and double and stuff. You can Google like C++ types basically, and you can get a pretty big list of what is what and how big they are. So basically the int is at least 16 bits, but it's usually 32 bits. And the float, so basically the difference between the float and the double is that the float is 32-bit and the double has more precision, is 64 bits. In games we will usually end up always using float, but like if you were doing like a space simulation something, you will probably want to use doubles. And also another thing I wanted to mention is, you notice I've put a semicolon here at the end of a class or a struct definition. This is very important. If you don't put this, you're going to get some compiler errors. Well, you can see here it's red already. The IntelliSense is getting pretty good. Expected semicolon. So never forget this. In the previous version of Visual Studio, you will have pulled your hair out trying to figure out why things don't compile. But now it's getting smarter, so it's helping us here a little bit. All right, so we're going to manipulate strings a little bit. So we're going to delete this. But we're going to keep our little hero class here. And then we're going to create an instance of our heroes. And so you saw that we did cout and hero.name. Let me just retype that. Hero.elf. All right. And we add Bob as 100 elf. I forgot the little end line here at the end. All right, so we saw that on the last tutorials. But what about I want to put this into a string instead, right? So and call it like hero description, and I can just output that string later on. So let's say I'm doing string hero description, all right, and I basically want to put this into the string. And then later on, I want to output this to the screen, right? So you might want to keep around the description for later use, or who knows. You'll notice that there's red there already, and this is not going to compile. You get a bunch of errors that, the first one basically tells you that you cannot use this operator on a string. All right, so what you need to do is basically use kind of a string builder class that's going to build a string for you with custom, you can parse ints into it and such. I believe C# have a function, or Java has a class name called string builder for this. Tell me if I'm wrong here. So we're going to include stream, all right? That's for string. So remember the stream here we had with cout? Well, we want the same thing with a string. So what we want is a string stream. So far it makes sense, right? Let's just call it SS. And let's push all this into SS. All right. And then at the end, when we're done with the builder class, we're going to go get the string from it and just affect it to our string objects. That's it, right? So you have to build your strings in a more complicated way this way, but it's no different than, let's say, the string builders in C# or Java. So when you run this, now it's going to work. And this is the content of, well, I shouldn't have a headline there because the description has no headline in it, right? And then I'm outputting the content of the string itself. So yeah, so that's how you build a basic string. We can do more complicated stuff. So let's say we do another one. And let's just string stream. Let's call this one SS1. All right. and we're going to create a new string here, and we're going to say, let's say you want to buy a new shield. Well, the shield cost. So they're going to be text in the store in the game, right? It's going to write shield is 100 gold, basically. So or like $3.99. Like let's do this. So we're going to put like say shield cost, and let's put that in dollar for the sake of the example. And then let's say your amount that you're pasting to this is kind of a complicated number, like 349.78.92, because let's say you've added taxes to it and whatnot, and then the number just becomes like, you know, normally you will want only 3.99. But if I just do it this way, all right, and just affect our, just go get our string from it. So this is a function call, by the way, but I'm sure you realize that already. So I'm going to go get the string from it, and shield cost, just I'll put it there. So what you're going to see is, so let's just show the code for you. You're going to see shield cost 399.78.9. Yeah, that's not really a dollar price. So what you want to do is kind of format this a little bit. So what you do is you just add stuff in front of it. All right, so we're going to say we want it fixed, so fixed points, and we want to set its precision to 2. All right, so you're going to see this is red because we need to yet include another things. Let's call it include IO manip, all right, for input output manipulation, because that's what we're doing. So what we want is a fixed point, all right, so there's a point there, and we want 2 of precision after it. So if you run this, you're going to see shield cost 350. All right, so you might end up doing a lot of little things like that. There's way more to it. You can Google the documentation about IO manip. But basically, sometimes you want to print the frame rate in the corner, but your frame rate is a float, and you just want to print the part before the dot or whatnot, and just an example. So this is something you might use a lot in gaming. So this is basic string formatting. All right, so again, you create a string stream, so which will allow you to stream stuff to it. Then you can go get the string from it, put it into your string instance, and use it later. And here we're outputting it. All right, so see you in the next tutorials, which is going to be function calls. But this is going to be pretty simple, you'll see. Thanks for watching.